And we are back. Thank you so much for joining us here on Unfiltered Vision News, bringing you the news unfiltered Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern. My name is Dr. Shakina Nichols, and this is Mighty Men Thursday. And thanks to everyone out there joining us here on Mighty Men Thursday. And we have a very special guest, somebody that I actually met. It's been almost 3 years now that I've met this individual. And I'm so excited and so grateful that he has decided to be on our program. So let me bring him here to the stage. How are you, Marcel?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. If you could please introduce yourself to the audience, let us know what you're doing in the community where we can follow you, and we'll get into a topic of your choice.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Greg Marcel Dixon. I'm a former candidate for office, federal office. I ran on a platform with reparations as the centerpiece. I'm a teacher by trade, and that's pretty much my primary way of giving back through my teaching. And if you would like to follow me, I can be found on Twitter, where I'm most active, at Marcel for Congress, Marcel, the digit 4, and then Congress. And I'm also on Instagram by that same name.
Okay, wonderful. Again, thank you so much for joining us. So, I didn't know if you wanted to, before we get into a topic of our choice, just kind of how you decided to run for Congress.
Well, what took place was I was getting involved in the burgeoning reparations movement. And we were having a difficult time getting some of these leaders to push for reparations. I'm not talking about the white congressmen and congresswomen. I'm talking about the so-called black congressmen and congresswomen. And I'm not talking about the ones who are of immigrant descent. I'm talking about the ones who are of a foundational Black American or freedman descent. They are the children of people who were enslaved and emancipated here in this nation. We were having a hard time getting them to pay attention to our needs. And I started feeling like, why are we fighting for them to give attention to our needs, to address our needs, when they are readily addressing the needs of all these other groups? So it all came to a head when James Clyburn held a town hall here in my small town. I confronted him about the failure, not just his failure, but the failure of the Democratic Party and of Joe Biden, who was in office at that time, of addressing the needs of the Black American community, how we built this nation, but we were lingering to the bottom. And that is not a surprise. When you have a nation that has weaponized their government against you for centuries, yeah, you're going to be to the bottom. They have not done that to any other group besides ours. The fact that we are not further to the bottom is a testament to our strength. Well, after he sort of blew me off, I became restless with my fellow reparationists because we were always talking about the problems. They don't do anything for us. They ignore us. They're doing this for illegal immigrants who aren't citizens. They're doing this for the LGBTQ. They're doing this for Native Americans. They're doing this for Israel. They're doing this for the corporations. So I started saying, if the people in office are the problem, then why are we not replacing them? And then I started feeling, okay, all these people who are in the reparations movement, for whom I have great respect, they're very intelligent people. They know their stuff. So why are y'all not running for office to be in the position so you can make the difference and we support you? And I brought that up. There would be silence. And yet I was hearing a lot of people, again, complaining about that's the problem. The people in office, they take it from all these other groups. That's saying, well, damn it, if no one else is going to do it, then I'll do it. And that's how we arrived at me running for office, not once, but twice.
And I'm grateful that you did, because that's kind of how you and I met on Twitter, and I was running for president of the United States at the time. And you were like, okay, well, if you're going to run, you need to learn about this. And it was great that you shared with me, what I needed to learn, because I actually got to speak to the authors of From Here to Equality. and just share with them some of the ideas that I had. And they were like, "Yep, you're on target. Just keep pressing forward." So to your point, there's a lot of us in the reparations movement, but there aren't enough of us actually running for office to make that move and make that change.
That's very true. And actually, you got to give yourself more credit. You came to me because you didn't know a lot about reparations, and I just gave you some resources that would help you. So, because I would never put myself out there like I'm so politically seasoned. I'm not. I mean, I'm a school teacher, for goodness sake, and I live in a small town. I was never, ever, ever involved in politics in my entire life. And when I decided to run for office, I literally did it in my living room, no support, no experience, did not tell anyone. I just said, I'm running for office. They didn't ask for anyone's permission because I don't need anyone's permission. I just saw it needed to be done and I did it. And while I was not successful, because obviously I'm not elected, I did get a lot of attention, not for me, but for the reparations movement. I was able
Yeah.
to talk about reparations on my platform on hundreds, perhaps, different platforms on the new black media, as we call it, who
Yeah.
have large viewings among our people, but also Fox News,
Yeah.
Newsweek,
Wow.
Newsmax, Time Magazine. I was interviewed by Rolling Stone, but they never released the
Wow.
interview. Al Jazeera. I was able to go on these large, large media platforms and talk
Mhm.
about reparations, the debt that is due, and how it can be done, and dispel a lot of myths and misconceptions that people have about reparations. So, in that way, I did win. And also, other people have told me that they are running for office or considering running for office or have gotten involved
Mhm.
because they were inspired by me. So I won in the area where it's most important, motivating our people. Because even
Yes.
if I had been elected, that would not have been enough. I would be
Mm.
one person. It would take more of us becoming activated for me to have been effective. So the fact that other people are now activated and they
Yes.
give credence to me, that right there shows me in the most important areas I did win.
Great. I'm so happy about that. Now, back on to reparations, but also I wanted to ask you questions about the local level. Would you consider running again at the local level, maybe mayor or councilman or commissioner?
You know, I I'm going to say at this point, no. I feel like I'm through with electoral politics. So I'll have to say no. Not saying things can't change in the future, but I'm pretty much through with electoral politics, but I'm not through with advocacy. Because while
Okay.
running for office, I realize there's a great need for education. A lot of people, they don't understand the power that people in office have. They don't realize that a James Clyburn could have written a bill upon his election for reparations. Even if the bill would not have passed, he could have used that, used his platform to educate the public about reparations. He could have gone to people, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, and tried to get them on board reparations by educating them. They don't realize that is something he could have done that he refused to do. They don't
Mm.
realize that they have the power to put pressure on him. Call his office, go to his office. I'm just using James Clyburn as an example.
Right, right.
I'm really referring to any elected official, but especially those who get Black American votes. They're getting our votes and we're getting nothing in return. So a lot of people have to be educated. They don't realize that other groups, actually, I need to not say that. A lot of us do realize that other groups have gotten reparations while we have not. But they don't realize that the same way they've given reparations to these other groups, they could do the same for us. A lot of people don't realize the reparations is not race based. It is
Right.
not race based. They don't realize that it's not coming from a white person and going to a Black person. It's
Mhm.
coming from the federal government who
Right.
has the money to a group that they've wronged. We could have been blue, but they had enslaved us and imposed Jim Crow upon us. They would owe us. So it's not about we're Black and they owe us money. It's about what they did to us that denied us of the wealth that we are still due. They
Mhm.
took wealth from us that we owed in spite of their terrorism, and they now owe us payment. And they've done it for other groups, and we are the groups that they discriminated against, and they still discriminate against us by not doing it for us. That
Mhm.
type of education is not out there. So I want to
Mm.
call out people about voting for people who do nothing for us. Two, about helping them recognize that people such as James Clyburn, who's a very powerful politician, could easily write a bill for reparations. Even if the bill does not pass, he can use his platform to advocate and promote the cause of reparations. They do it for everything else. They promote the cause of illegal immigration for a bunch of illegals that shouldn't even be here. They promote the cause of LGBTQ. They promote the cause of Israel. They promote the cause of bailing out these corporations.
Yeah.
They promote all these different causes except ours. Even if the bill does not pass, you can promote the cause. You can use your platform to educate people, bring more support from the general public for the bill, and that way it will eventually pass. Look at the Republicans. One thing I respect about the Republicans is when they have something in mind to accomplish, they don't let it go. The
No.
Republicans for decades have wanted to get rid of the Department of Education. Now they're doing it. You see, they got support from the general public and they finally accomplished what they wanted to do. Now I'm hoping they abolish income tax. That's what they also want to do. I'm hoping they get that done.
Look, get it done.
What to do that I definitely support. But the point is, that's how Republicans roll. They get support from the general public, and even if it doesn't happen all the way, or it happens eventually, even if just partially, until it happens completely. That's what they could do for reparations, and they have not.
Okay. Well, that's good, a good thing to know, because I think a lot of people don't understand. And thank you for explaining the process, right? It's putting on pressure. And a lot of times when people hear put on the pressure, they think it means go outside and picket. No. Calling their office, emailing them, going to their office, getting in their face. That is what applies pressure. And they're like, okay, I better listen to this person or I'm not going to get voted back in. Yes, because we will start a whole campaign to remove you.
That's right. That's what pressure means. Don't get me wrong. If you want to picket, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to knock different ways you can manifest your resistance or manifest your advocacy. If you want to picket, that's fine, but it can't stop there. And that's often a problem with us. They know that we'll go out, we'll picket, we'll get some, placards, we'll get some posters, we may hold up traffic for a while. They can deal with that for a week or two, and then they know we're going to go back and everything's going to go back to normal. Yeah. No. The most effective form of pressure is often the form that you don't see. The form where you're making phone calls, writing letters, going down to their office. And when you go to the office, live stream on social media. Put pressure on them.
It's got to be a full press.
That's
full court press campaign.
That's
basically.
They should not get peace until we have peace.
Okay. I like it. I like it because I do tell my audience, like, okay, what's the new campaign? Today, I definitely saw a couple days ago a post about a Latino representative. Her name is Maria Salazar, and it's called the Dignity Act. I'm a little upset about it because I want to start a no amnesty campaign. But I'm like, okay, we want our reparations. But I'm like, all right, can y'all get behind a no amnesty campaign and we want our reparations? Because she's advocating for illegal immigration while at the same time going, yeah, I know they're illegal, but we still need to help them. No,
we don't.
And this person's a Republican. I was like, you sound like, you sound like a whole Democrat.
One thing we have to understand, this illegal alien invasion was not just the work of the Democrats. The Republicans were behind it as well. Remember, it was Ronald Reagan who gave amnesty to 3 million illegal aliens. Not a Democratic president, a Republican president did that. They all love cheap labor. The only reason they're now acting as if they are against illegal immigration is because Trump is in office. If Trump was not in office, and let's say some other Republican candidate, we would have still been flooded right now with illegal aliens.
Yeah. And like I said, it just amazes me because this person is a Republican, literally standing there in our face saying, yeah, these people are here illegally, but we need to bring them out of the shadows. I'm like, no, they need to go back home, ma'am.
Look, the thing is, she's saying that because they've broken the law, she said, if you've come here within 5 years or less, within 5 years or less, she is saying that you get to stay. But if you've been here 5 years or more, then you qualify for a 7-year stay or something like that.
That's and pay a fine.
That's the stupidest thing to me. So you're saying if I've succeeded in breaking the law for more than 5 years, I'm good. So because I was a better criminal, I deserve to stay? That makes no damn sense. Second of all, if you deserve dignity, the most dignified thing we can do for you is to send you back to your country. Have dignity in your country. Have dignity by not being a criminal in my country. Have dignity by building up your nation so you don't have to flee. Have dignity by paying back all the resources you have consumed of my nation that should go to Americans first and foremost, actual Americans.
Yeah, it's very scary when you hear people saying, "Well, food's not going to be on your table if all these people leave." And I'm like, "Why are you trying to use scare tactics?
They're
Why
using the
can't
same argument that was
Americans
used
do
during
those
slavery.
jobs? Americans can do these jobs."
Americans have always done these jobs. Americans still do these jobs now. Americans would still do these jobs if they were paying a fair wage. And they will have to pay a fair wage if they didn't have tens of millions of illegal aliens who are willing to accept slave wages. That's the issue with illegal immigration. Not only is it wrong, but one, it allows these corporations to avoid having to pay a livable wage. Because if you
Right.
have 5 to 30 million people who are willing to accept very low wages, you don't have to now, you're not incentivized to pay a livable wage. Number two, it causes the cost of living to skyrocket because America needs more homes. That's not necessarily an issue that was caused directly by illegal immigration, but illegal immigration has exacerbated the need for housing because if you have 20 homes and you had 5 people, then they will have to compete for you to patronize their equity firms or to rent from them. But when you have 20 homes and you have 50 people, and of those 50 people, 30 should not be there. Now the cost of living skyrockets because you have a high demand but a low supply. They need to leave. And let me be very clear. As Black Americans, as freedmen, the descendants of those who were emancipated from American slavery, our views against legal immigration is consistent with some of our most beloved icons. Frederick Douglass was against mass immigration, illegal and legal. Booker T. Washington was against mass immigration, illegal and legal. W.E.B. Du Bois was against mass immigration, illegal and legal. Coretta Scott King was against mass immigration. Barbara Jordan was against mass immigration. What is his name? What was his name? I'm having my mind just went blank. Philip A. Randolph.
Okay.
Was against illegal immigration, legal and illegal. Okay, so our views is consistent. A. Philip Randolph, yes, our view is consistent with some of our most beloved icons because they realize we are the most hurt by mass immigration, legal and illegal. If you are here illegally, you need to go. Okay, sorry, not sorry, you gotta go. If you are here legally, okay, fine, but we need to control the numbers coming here legally as well.
Yeah, because I want to say it primarily harms our community because that's where they're dumped. They're dumped into our community. They're not dumped in the communities that people can at least, you might not speak the same language, but at least you look alike, right? Or at least from the same kind of melting pot. But they'll put you in our communities. You can't speak the language. You're completely against us, and we'll give you all the benefits you said you never had when we asked for them.
The immigrants who look like us, Afro Latinos from Latin America, people from the West Indies, people from the African continent, got Black people from Europe, okay? Even if they physically look like us, even if they're not explicitly against us, their presence in such large numbers hurt us. If you're here illegally, even if you weren't hurting us, you still have to go. Okay, it's just wrong that you're here. All these other nations enforce their borders. I've been all throughout the world. I've been all throughout Latin America. These other countries are enforcing their immigration laws, and they definitely are securing their borders, and they do it without any apologies, and they have a right to do so. Okay, but the point of the matter is your presence here does hurt us. We already have enough things which we contend with. We don't need to have that issue as well.
Yeah, because what I would like to see is I actually would like an administrative closure of our borders where we're not letting anybody else in. Just like shut it all down. No amnesty, no new applications, right? No HB1 visas, no chain migrations. Like when I say shut it down, shut it down. Okay, we
This
are
is
not
this is we've
accepting
got
any
to
more
do it.
people so that we have the time for at least 10 years to get people off of the soil. Because I think it might take that long. It could be done in a shorter time. I mean, Iran, they basically deported 500,000 people in 15 days. Like, what are we doing?
It would happen even in shorter period of time than that if they will go after the employers.
Yeah.
Now, the director of ICE just made a statement saying that they are going to start going after employers. If they start doing that, it would happen in 5 days. If they start going after people who are deliberately renting to these illegal immigrants, who are
Mhm.
selling homes to these illegal immigrants, it
Yep.
would happen in 3 days. You do not want to make it comfortable for people to break the law. If you make it comfortable for people to break the law, they're going to break it. When you disincentivize or de-incentivize breaking the law, then people won't do it.
Yeah.
And
And
you
you're
will immediately see wages increase. They will skyrocket. You will
yeah.
immediately see the cost of housing fall. And then if there are areas where we need some immigration, it will be done legally and it will be done to help the American people, not hurt the American people. But I don't even think that will be a problem. America is 350 million people. If we deport 30 million people, okay, we're going to still have over 300 million people here.
We'll be fine. We will
We'll be
be just
absolutely fine.
fine. And our youth, they're going to learn a new trade in any job and skill set, and they will do just fine. Because I was talking to somebody else and we were talking about, I was like, people think that illegals are just in the fields. I'm like, no, they're in IT
They're
departments.
everywhere.
They're in HR departments. I was like,
Yep.
they're in corporate America under the
Yes, they
table.
are.
Like, I need people to
In
understand this is
finance,
a lot bigger than you
in
think.
medicine, in
They're
truck driving, even though they
everywhere.
can't speak the language and they're having these horrific accidents.
They have them in hospitals. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it going.
And let me say this, I will not apologize for wanting to enforce immigration laws, for wanting illegal aliens deported. Let me make that very clear. There's no apology coming from me. It's impossible to get an apology from me about it. However, this is not based on hate. This is based on love for my people and for my country. You gotta go.
Yeah.
And if you love your country, that country whose flag you always want to wave, you would want to go back, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, the point I was thinking about is when you say you want to be here in the United States, I'm just saying, the minute that you come here illegally, you have completely broken the
You've
social
shown that
contract.
you are not worth us investing in. If your first act of entering the country is a criminal act, you are definitely not a person we want to have in this country. Absolutely. I've always made that point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a good point to make. But I'll let you have last words.
So I want us to keep advocating for reparations. We have to put more pressure on these people in office. We have to do it visibly, but we also have to do it behind the scenes, making these phone calls, writing letters, showing up at their offices, educating the people in our community. Listen, when I was running for office, even before I ran for office, and now, sometimes I'm just out in the street talking with people about reparations. It's a little easier now to start a conversation because people recognize me. People come
Mhm.
to me and say, "Hey, are you
Yeah.
running for office again?" Or, "Hey, I just see you on TV. You used to talk about reparations." And I can
Right.
still strike up a conversation. But we have to get our people activated. And it's happening. I am not on TikTok, but I am seeing a lot of TikToks from our youth, from our
Okay.
people who are elderly, from our people who are
Mhm.
college age, middle age, talking about reparations, talking about how we are Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, freedmen. We are a special group that built this nation, owned by this nation. This nation will not exist without us. I am seeing it happen in real time, but we need to accelerate it. So let's accelerate it, y'all.
Okay, good to know. So you've heard it from Marcel. So whatever state that you are in, find out who your representative is for your house district. The house districts are going to be a little bit different than your Senate federal representation. Okay, they're broken out in districts. Find them because the ones in the house have the purse. These are the people you want to
Yep.
call and advocate to them for reparations and say, okay, where are you at with reparations? What do you need to know? They might need more education on it. You never know, because we kind of just assume that there's pushback because they're not talking about it, but maybe they're not talking about it because they don't know.
That's
Everybody
true.
needs that step up for education. So thank you so much again for joining us
Thank you, Dr.
here
Nichols, for having
on
me.
Mighty Men Thursday, and we so look forward to having you back on for some
Thank
more
you.
conversations. So thanks for joining us.
Same here. You take care.
Thank you. Yes, and that was such an exciting conversation. I'm so grateful for Marcel, because when I was running for president, it was wonderful. And he actually, you know, did point me in the right direction. And yeah, I did reach out, but I was just so amazed by his passion and his heart for our people. And that's what it's going to take to get reparations. That's what it's going to take to stop this illegal immigration. We need to let our representatives know where we're at on issues that really impact our lives. So thanks again for joining us here on Mighty Men Thursday.